My name is Amelia Winthrop. At 78, I made the biggest mistake of my life. I let my son believe he was the master of our home. We lived in a historic mansion in Beacon Hill, Boston. Every brick here was soaked in the history of my family and the sweat of my late husband, Thomas. But for the last 4 years, I was a ghost in my own house, wearing an old apron and serving those who shared my blood, but not my heart. I woke up at 5:30 every morning to prepare breakfast for my son Edward and his wife Linda. I was a free cook, a nanny for my granddaughter Lily, and a housekeeper. They called me a useless burden when they thought I couldn't hear. Edward was my only son. After Thomas died, I handed him the management of Winthrop Group, our family investment firm. I wanted to retire and grow roses, believing I had raised a decent man. But Linda, his wife, slowly poisoned his mind. She convinced him that my advice was senile rambling and that my presence ruined their image as a young and successful couple. One fateful evening, I prepared the roast Thomas loved. Linda pushed the plate away in disgust. "Edward, this old kitchen smell is on my Chanel clothes. We need to discuss a nursing home for your mother. She's no longer useful. She's just in the way." Edward didn't even look at me. "You're right, honey. Mom, we've decided you'll be better off in a facility in the suburbs. We've already moved your things to the garage. A car is coming tomorrow morning." Little Lily ran in and grabbed my skirt. "Grandma, you're not leaving? Who will read me stories?" Linda pulled the child away. "Your grandmother is old and useless. It's time for her to go to a hospital for the elderly." They expected me to cry. They expected me to beg. But what they didn't know was that Thomas had left me an iron contract, legally. Edward was only a hired CEO. All the assets, the accounts, and even the Beacon Hill mansion belonged to me through a complex web of trusts he knew nothing about. I slowly took off my apron and looked my son in the eye. "Fine, Edward. If I'm a burden, I'll leave. But remember, everything you have depends on my patience." I walked out with one suitcase into the pouring Boston rain. Linda laughed as she slammed the door. She didn't know my lawyer, Mr. Harrison, was waiting in a black car across the street. "Mrs. Winthrop, are you sure?" he asked. I looked at the dark windows of my home. "Start the process, Harrison. Revoke all powers of attorney. Freeze the corporate accounts. Tomorrow, my son will find out what it truly means to be useless." We drove to a small hotel I had secretly bought years ago. Sitting by the fireplace, I thought about how my son had become a monster. Money changes people, but a lack of gratitude kills their souls. I opened my laptop. My fingers, used to dough and garden shears, flew over the keys. I logged into the Winthrop Group system. With one command, I revoked Edward's access to all corporate resources. Tomorrow, his badge wouldn't work. I didn't sleep all night. I looked at a photo of Lily and knew I was doing this for her. I wouldn't let these vultures destroy what Thomas and I built over 40 years. Linda wanted to get rid of the useless burden. She would get a life without that burden, and without a single cent of my money. Revenge is a dish best served cold, but in my case, it would be served with Bostonian politeness and absolute legal precision. Morning in Boston was foggy. I put on my best business suit, untouched for years. In the mirror, I saw the chairwoman of the board, not a cook. "Time to go home, Thomas," I whispered to my husband's portrait. At 9 a.m., Mr. Harrison sent the first legal notice. The battle for the Winthrop legacy had officially begun. My son had no chance because he forgot the most important rule: never underestimate the woman who taught you to walk. Morning at the Winthrop Group office began in chaos. Edward arrived at 9 a.m. in his new Porsche, ready to sign a $20 million contract. But when he tapped his gold badge at the turnstile, a red light flashed and a loud beep echoed. The guard, who used to bow to him, blocked his path. "Mr. Winthrop, Your access has been revoked by order of the majority shareholder. Edward laughed, thinking it was an IT error. Don't you recognize me? I am the owner. Let me in or you're fired, Edward shouted. The guard didn't move. Mr. Harrison stepped out of the elevator with a folder. Edward, shouting won't help. Your badge is blocked. Your computer is wiped. Your authority as CEO is suspended until further notice from the owner. Edward stood in the lobby, stunned, as his employees watched his humiliation. At home, Linda discovered her limitless black card was declined at an elite boutique. She called Edward, screaming, "What is going on? My card doesn't work. Is the bank mocking us?" Edward hissed into the phone. "Linda, shut up. We have problems at the office, some legal error. I'll fix it." He still didn't realize that the error was me. I watched them through the security cameras, sipping hot tea in my hotel suite. Seeing my son lose face was painful but necessary. He needed to feel the powerlessness I felt when they discussed my disposal in the kitchen. "Harrison," I said into the phone, "send him an invitation for lunch. At Old Joe's, the cheap diner where Thomas and I celebrated our first deal 40 years ago. Let him remember where it all started. I wanted to see if there was any of the old Edward left inside that expensive suit." Edward burst into the diner an hour later. He looked pathetic, sweaty, with a rumpled tie. He saw me in my Armani suit. "Mom? What is this circus? Why did Harrison block the accounts? Do you realize you're ruining the company's reputation?" He still tried to dominate me, still saw me as the old burden. I calmly sipped coffee from a paper cup and gestured for him to sit down in the plastic chair. "Sit down, Edward. The company's reputation was built by your father. What you've done lately is just blowing smoke with someone else's money. You forgot to read the fine print in Thomas's will. He knew your nature. He knew you could be influenced by a woman like Linda. That's why all the property, including the mansion, belongs to the Amelia Winthrop Trust. That means me." His face turned a deep shade of purple. "That's impossible! I am the Caesar Odash. I am the heir," he stammered. I laid a copy of the charter on the table. "You are an employee, Edward. And this morning, the board consisting of me and my lawyers fired you for misappropriation of funds. You bought Linda jewelry with money meant for our workers' pensions. Did you think I wouldn't notice because I'm useless?" The silence that followed was heavy with his realization. "You can't kick us out of the house," he whispered, fear finally entering his voice. "Oh, I already have," I smiled. "Legally, you are guests in my mansion. Since you put my things in the garage yesterday, I decided to do the same. Movers are packing Linda's things right now, including the Chanel bag she loved so much. By evening, the locks will be changed. I've reclaimed my home from the people who didn't respect it." Edward jumped up, knocking over his chair. "You've lost your mind. We are your family. Where will we live?" I looked at him with sadness. Family doesn't throw a mother out into the rain. Family doesn't call a grandmother a burden in front of a child. You chose your side, Edward. Live with it. I've rented a small apartment for you in Dorchester for 1 month. It's my last gift to you as a mother." He ran out of the diner without a word. I sat alone, feeling a strange relief. Surgery to remove a tumor is painful, but it's the only way to save the body. I knew Linda wouldn't give up easily. She was like a cornered rat, and those are the most dangerous. But she forgot I built this business in the 80s, when women on Wall Street had to be 10 times tougher than any man. The real game was just beginning. When Edward reached the mansion, his designer suitcases were piled on the sidewalk. Linda was screaming at the movers as they carried out her Manolo Blahnik shoes in cardboard boxes. A fresh legal seal was on the door. Edward's Porsche was being towed. It was a company lease, and he no longer had a company. I watched from Mr. Harrison's car. "Where is Lily?" I asked. Linda sneered with my mother. "You'll never get her." "Linda," I said calmly, "your mother lives in an apartment my fund pays for. If Lily isn't at my hotel in 2 hours, your mother will be on the street too." Lily arrived shortly after, crying. I held her tight. "We're going to be okay, Lily. We'll read all the stories you want." Meanwhile, Edward and Linda moved to a grimy apartment in Dorchester. Linda screamed when she saw the peeling wallpaper and linoleum floors. The next day, I took my place at the head of the Winthrop Group board. The shareholders sat in terrified silence. "Gentlemen," I began, "my son made critical errors. We found a $5 million hole in the budget spent on his wife's luxuries. I will cover the loss personally, but Edward Winthrop will never step foot in this building again." I was cleaning house, and the employees could feel the shift in power. Linda tried to blackmail me. She came to my hotel, disheveled but hateful. "I'll sue you. I'll tell the press you kidnapped Lily and that you have dementia." I showed her photos from a private investigator, Linda in the arms of a young tennis pro in Miami while Edward was working late. "If you start a war, Edward sees these first. He'll divorce you and leave you with nothing. Leave now, or these hit the front page." Linda turned pale. Her only leverage was gone. "You're a monster," she whispered. "No," I replied. "I'm a mother protecting her legacy from a parasite. If you ever scream at Lily again, you'll regret it." She fled the hotel. That night, I watched Lily sleep and felt a sense of peace. Thomas used to say, "To build a strong house, you must first clear the rotten foundation." I was doing exactly that. Dorchester was a wake-up call for Edward. After a week, his expensive shoes were covered in grime and his ego was crushed. He tried to find work, but the Winthrop name was toxic now. Harrison had made sure everyone knew about his incompetence. Doors slammed in his face. Linda sat in the kitchen all day, cursing my name and demanding they go on TV to expose me. Edward just sat in silence. I met Edward in a park. He looked like a shadow of himself. "Mom, stop, we're starving." Linda won't stop screaming. "You won. What do you want?" I showed him the photos of Linda's affairs. "She spent your father's money on her lovers while you worked yourself to death. Does she love you or your checks?" Edward took the photos and wept. His world had finally collapsed, and he was seeing the truth for the first time. Linda tried one last desperate move. She told a tabloid I had dementia and was holding Lily hostage. A crowd of reporters gathered at my hotel. I walked out with Lily, looking every bit the poised aristocrat. I showed them my recent psychiatric evaluation and the audit reports of Linda's theft. I am saving my granddaughter from a mother who spends child support on her lovers. The scandal flipped. Linda was publicly destroyed. That evening, Edward came to my suite. He was clean-shaven and looked determined. "Mom, I filed for divorce. I signed away all claims to the house and company. I want Lily to stay with you. I'm not a good father. I couldn't even protect her from her own mother." I looked at my son and saw the boy I once knew. "You can see her on weekends, Edward. If you get a real job, start at the bottom. You'll start as a clerk in the archives of Winthrop Group for minimum wage. If you prove yourself in a year, we'll talk." He nodded, accepting any terms. Linda was left alone in Dorchester. No husband, no daughter, no money. But people like her never go quietly. I knew I had to stay vigilant. The surgery was almost complete, but the patient, my family still needed time to heal properly. Linda's hatred grew into madness. She blamed me for everything. She understood she had lost legally, so she decided to strike at my heart. Lily. She tracked Lily and her nanny to a park. "Come with me, Lily. Grandma wants to lock you up," she screamed. Her eyes were wild. Lily was terrified and began to cry. Fortunately, Harrison had arranged for plainclothes security. They blocked her path before she could touch the child. Linda was arrested for attempted kidnapping. In jail, she screamed that I would die soon in my empty mansion. I just looked at her with pity. Edward had to face his final test, signing the papers to cut Linda off from the Winthrop Trust forever. He was working 10-hour days as a clerk, earning his keep for the first time. "She's no longer a Winthrop, Mom," he said as he signed. "She's a mistake I finally corrected. The company began to thrive without Linda's drain on resources. I slowly brought Edward back into meetings, not as a prince, but as a man who knew the value of $1. He ate in the cafeteria with the workers and delivered mail himself. He was learning that leadership is about service. Meanwhile, Linda tried to sell company secrets to our competitors from jail. It was a serious threat that could have crashed our stock. I met with the competitors. "Gentlemen," I said, showing them recordings of Linda's calls, "if you buy this data, you become accomplices to industrial espionage. I will destroy your funds in court before you can even open the files." They backed down. Linda finally broke. She signed away her parental rights in exchange for me dropping the new charges. She left the state forever. The battle was won. Now it was time to rebuild the home. A year had passed. Boston's autumn was gold and crimson. Edward entered my office and handed me the annual report for the archives. He had found a way to use dormant assets to fund scholarships for our employees' children. I saw pride and sincerity in his eyes. My plan had worked. I hadn't just punished him. I had saved his humanity. We returned to the Beacon Hill mansion that evening, and I let Edward open the door. "Grandma, will we all live here now?" Lily asked. I looked at Edward. "Yes, but the rules are different now. There are no useless burdens here. Only a family that respects every brick of this house." I put on my old apron, but Edward didn't wait to be served. He stood beside me in the kitchen, helping with the vegetables. We talked about Thomas and our future. The house was alive again, filled with warmth instead of ego. I officially retired a month later, naming Edward president with one condition: 30% of the profits would always go to Amelia's Light, a foundation for the elderly. "Business is about the people who trust you with their lives, Edward," I told him. I returned to my roses, with Lily helping me in the garden. She would grow up knowing her grandmother wasn't useless, but an architect who rebuilt their family from the ruins. Edward sat with me in the garden one day. "Mom, thank you for kicking me out," he whispered. I smiled. "Sometimes you need the lights to go out to see the stars, son." I was just the one who flipped the switch. We sat in the silence of our home, earned by honor, not just blood. My story is a reminder. Dignity has no expiration date. It's never too late to reclaim your life and protect those you love. I close my journal now. Lily's laughter echoes through the halls, and Edward is reading her a bedtime story. Thomas's portrait seems to smile in approval. We saved what mattered. I can rest now, knowing Lily will remember. A woman's true strength lies in her wisdom and her ability to turn betrayal into the foundation for a better life. The Winthrop legacy is finally safe, built on a foundation of love and respect. Every day is a gift. I watch the sun set over the Charles River and feel a deep sense of gratitude. I was once a ghost in my own home, but now I am its heart. Edward has become the man Thomas wanted him to be: strong, fair, and humble. We don't just run a company, we run a legacy. And that legacy is more than just money. It's the character we show when the world is watching. I often walk through the mansion and remember the cold rain of the night I left. That memory keeps me grounded. It reminds me that wealth can vanish, but who you are remains. I taught my son that lesson the hard way, but it was the only way it would stick. Now, we use our resources to make sure no other mother has to feel invisible. Our foundation is changing lives, and that is my true reward. Lily is growing so fast. She has Thomas's eyes and my determination. She knows the story of the Iron Matriarch, and she wears it like a badge of honor. She won't let anyone call her useless. She knows her worth. That is the greatest inheritance I could ever give her. She is the future of the Winthrop's name, and I know it's in good hands. We are a family of builders, and we build for the long haul. Looking back, I realized that Linda was a necessary evil. She forced me to wake up. She forced me to fight. Without her, I would have faded away in that kitchen. Sometimes, the people who try to destroy you actually save you. They push you to find the strength you forgot you had. I'm not angry at her anymore. I'm just glad she's gone. She taught us what we never want to be. Edward is a different man now. He respects the staff, listens to his advisors, and puts the family first. He's found a balance between ambition and compassion. He's dating a kind woman who works at a nonprofit, and I can see the genuine happiness in his eyes. He's no longer chasing a mirage of success. He's living a life of significance. Thomas would be so proud of the man our son has become. The garden is my sanctuary. The roses are in full bloom, a sea of red and white. They remind me that even the most beautiful things have thorns to protect themselves. I am like those roses, gentle when I can be, but sharp when I have to be. Life is about knowing when to be which. I've found my peace among the petals, and I spend my days teaching Lily how to care for them. Boston is a city of stories, and mine is just one of many. But it's a story I'm proud to tell. It's a story of a woman who refused to be pushed aside. It's a story of a mother's love and a grandmother's fierce protection. It's a story of a legacy restored. I hope that anyone who hears it finds the courage to stand up for themselves. No one is ever truly useless. Mr. Harrison still visits for tea. We laugh about that night at Old Joe's. He was the only one who believed in me when I was at my lowest. Loyalty like that is rare, and I cherish it. He's more than a lawyer. He's family. We've been through a war together, and we came out on the other side stronger. He's retired now, but he still keeps a watchful eye on our affairs. The Winthrop Group is now a leader in ethical investing. We don't just look at the bottom line, we look at the impact. Our scholarships have helped hundreds of kids go to college. Our retirement funds are the most secure in the state. We've turned a family business into a community pillar, and it all started with a useless burden who decided she had had enough. My legacy is etched in the lives we've improved. Tonight we are having a big family dinner. The table is set with the good china. There's a seat for everyone, and the house is full of laughter. This is what I fought for. This is what matters. Not the stock price, not the mansion, but the people inside it. I look at Edward and Lily and feel a warmth that no fireplace could ever provide. We are the Winthrops, and we are finally home. As I grow older, I realize that the most important things in life aren't things, they're moments. The way Lily looks at me when I read to her. The way Edward asks for my advice on a difficult decision. The way the sun hits the stained glass in the hallway. These are the riches I've collected. These are the treasures that no one can ever take away from me. I am a wealthy woman in every sense of the word. I don't fear the end. I've lived a full life with its share of tragedy and triumph. I've made mistakes, but I've also made things right. I've left the world a little bit better than I found it. My work here is nearly done, and I can say with confidence that I've finished well. I've passed on the lessons I learned, and I've prepared the next generation to carry the torch. To anyone feeling small or unheard, your voice has power. Your life has value. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. Stand your ground, speak your truth, and never give up on yourself. You are the architect of your own destiny. If an old woman like me can change the course of a family empire, then anything is possible. Believe in your strength, and the world will eventually have to listen. The Winthrop legacy will continue long after I'm gone. It's a legacy of resilience and integrity. It's a story that will be told for generations. Lily will tell her children about the grandmother who stood up to a storm, and they will tell their children. That is the true meaning of immortality. Not living forever, but leaving something behind that does. My story is now part of the fabric of this house and this city. I sit on the porch and watch the world go by. People are in such a hurry these days. I wish they would slow down and appreciate what they have. I wish they would listen to their elders. There is so much wisdom to be shared if only someone would ask. But I am content. I have my roses, my family, and my memories. It is enough. It is more than enough. Edward brings me a glass of iced tea and sits on the step. We don't need to say much. There is an understanding between us that goes beyond words. He is my son, and I am his mother. We've forgiven each other, and that forgiveness has set us free. We are no longer bound by the past. We are inspired by the future. We are the architects of a new Winthrop era. The stars are coming out. They are so bright tonight. I remember what I told Edward, sometimes you need the dark to see the light. I'm glad we went through the darkness. It made the light so much more precious. We don't take anything for granted anymore. We know how fragile life can be, and we cherish every moment. The stars are a reminder that even in the vastness of the universe, our little lives matter. Lily comes out and climbs onto my lap. She smells like sunshine and soap. "Tell me a story, Grandma," she says. I smile and begin. Once upon a time, there was a woman who was very strong. She listens with wide eyes, absorbing every word. She is my greatest masterpiece. She is the reason I fought so hard. She is the reason I am still here. My story lives on in her. The night air is cool and crisp. It feels good on my skin. I feel light, as if a great weight has been lifted from my shoulders. I've done what I came here to do. I've protected my family and my home. I've taught my son the meaning of true wealth. I've given my granddaughter a future she can be proud of. I am ready for whatever comes next. My heart is full. I look at the old mansion one last time before going inside. It's a grand house, but it's the people inside that make it a home. It's a place of healing and growth. It's a place where everyone is valued and respected. It's the Winthrop home, and it's a beautiful place to be. I am Amelia Winthrop, and I am finally, truly, at peace. My work is complete, and my legacy is secure. As I walk through the door, I feel the warmth of the house embrace me. I hear the sound of laughter and the clinking of dishes. It's the sound of a family being a family. It's the best sound in the world. I am so lucky to be a part of it. I am so lucky to be a Winthrop. I close the door behind me and step into the light. My journey has been long, but it led me exactly where I needed to be. This is the end of my story, but it's just the beginning for the next generation of Winthrops. They have the foundation they need to build something even better. They have the lessons, they have the love, and they have each other. And that is the greatest legacy of all. Goodbye, my friends. May you find your own strength and your own peace. Remember, you are never useless. You are a masterpiece in progress.